Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking, and I'm here to just do a quick share with you guys. I'm not going to play this person's whole video. This is a channel that I like to sometimes check out because although I don't agree with everything that's spoken on here, including, and I'll just say it now because I'm referring you guys here, is the fact that a lot of people talk about uh, well, not back to Africa, but things pertaining to Africa. I think a lot more information about being indigenous and aborigines and standing our ground here in a certain way is where I go ahead and draw the line. I don't agree with the whole back to Africa movement for any type of reasons whatsoever until we know more about what's being said, especially here in the Americas and about the American Aborigine here. Okay, so again, that don't mean that I don't think that all of the people, the remnants of darker people around the globe, no, this is not a globe, okay, around the people of the earth, we'll say it like that we should not be working together at a main common goal, but we don't have to go there to do that. Matter of fact, once you wake up and open up your eyes and start using your higher level of thinking, your consciousness, we will be able to make great moves right here where we are. Okay, but a lot of us are afraid to leave their system. This is the thing, whether it's mental or physical, these are things that must happen. Okay, so again, on this channel we take the biblical aspect, history, modern day events, and this whole thing, and we smush it together to see what's really going on right now. We're not religious. I'm not a Christian or any other type of religious person. I do not attend the church, but I do read the word because, and not in the way that church people read it. Actually, I'm reading the word on my channel in order to show you that this God of the Bible does not want anything to really do with you, and that it has been a part of this book from the beginning to wash you out and run you down to the point of where you are today. And you are still waiting for someone, however you want to look at Jesus and God in that sense. It would be important to you to know that whoever you're waiting for, I know they like to, in terms, he's not coming back to play around. His robe is going to be dipped in blood. Well, who the hell want to wait for somebody that's coming back like this when you've experienced this over time? Okay, so again, this whole construct of religion has been to keep our people stagnant. It is a play on the brain to keep you asleep, and we are now waking up. And it's time to unite on one stand front in order to build something for our children here in the future, because things are getting kind of ridiculous. So again, don't run another way because you see me talking about the Bible. I am actually pulling things out of the Bible to show you that this word is speaking against your existence. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And again, this is not your mama's Bible study. We here to wake people up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you what it is, what it ain't, or I'm just telling you what it looked like to me. And just because I'm showing you this information does not mean that you have to value the information the same way that I do. I am just someone who is calling myself a seer or a seeker, and I seek things out and find them in order to relay them to the people in a certain way by bringing all these things into play. Okay? So again, this young man was speaking. I want to listen to probably like 5 minutes of this and then go into my thinking when I came up with this whole thing that I'm going to go ahead and start talking to you guys about. So let's go ahead and get into it. Those of you who have been here and like the content, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And those that want to go ahead and see if they fill in the channel or not, please hit the thumbs up on your way out. It just helps with the algorithm, I hear, and to keep, the channel going. Okay, so again, we're going to go ahead and listen to a little bit of this.
Repeat what you said for Lance as well as for anyone else to hear that may.
Okay, and I'm sorry, this is a young man. This is a man that brought his young man on this show or wanted this video to go to this platform so that people can hear what our youth may be thinking and feeling, because I think a lot of times we leave them out. And at this point in time, we need to go ahead and redirect them and bring them into what's going on, because they will be the ones that will be here when us old heads are gone. And I think that things could go left with something that they're trying to promote with this race war. And you don't want that to particularly happen in that way right now. So let's go ahead and listen.
Hear this recording. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on what's happening with our people and these shootings? Again, we're not talking about gang members being gunned down. We're not talking about violent criminals being gunned down, repeat offenders. We're not talking about people who were armed to the teeth, shooting at police and being combative. We're talking about unarmed, non-combative, typically law-abiding Black folks in this country. What's your take on this? What's going on?
Well, my thing about it is our people. One of our people's biggest issues is that we have this stuff going on with our people. Yeah, we want to sit here and be logical about the situation when there's no logic in the event. Period. Like you just said, there doesn't have to be a criminal element present at all. But yeah, these people are murdering us, and with no cause. But our people just seem to not.
Oh, hold on. Without a cause.
Without a cause.
Unprovoked.
Unprovoked. But our people just don't. We want to keep asking, well, where's the footage? I want to see the footage, or well, we want to look for the evidence that might be
or
that might be used, or justification that might be used as to why this happened, when it doesn't have to be at all. These people are our enemies, and this is bigger than racism. Stuff like this was happening before racism was even a term. But it's
wait, hold up. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point, especially considering your age and not because you're my son. That's a hell of a thought. And you're so right. This stuff was going on before the term racism became widely known and widely used.
Right.
And like you said, our people, we have this thing where we look for justification. We may not say that we're looking for justification, but that's what we're looking for. Let us see the footage. Let us see the recording. Let us see the body cam. This, that, and the other. And what
right, we were asking for proof, and proof of what? That these
proof of what? Justification
of
murdering
us. That's it. That's the only proof that those things provide in these cases. But it may seem like it's senseless murders that's happening to us, but at the same time, it's really not, because like I was saying to you earlier, I feel like this is just getting us acclimated to what's to come in the future for our people, because they're planning on doing a slaughter campaign.
Hold on.
More than what's going on now.
Wait, stop. You're saying that you personally, not because of any seeds that I have personally planted in your head, right?
Right.
So these are your own independent thoughts.
Right.
And you're saying that you believe these things are happening to get us, as well as others, acclimated or conditioned to something even greater that's yet to come.
Right. This is making one hell of a statement to us, but a lot of us don't see what that statement is. And that, in my opinion, that statement would be being that in terms of our safety, it's not going to be found anywhere. When we're getting murdered in our own home.
Woo! Wait. Lance, I hope you're listening, bro. Big bro, I hope you're listening. Again, he just turned 22 years of age. Dante, do you remember what you just said? Play that back. Repeat that.
They're letting us know that we're not safe in our own homes. I mean, that's what it's coming to at this point. That's what it is right now.
And if a man or woman if you're not safe in your own home, then there is no true place of refuge.
Right, that we don't have a safe haven.
We don't have a safe haven. And
meanwhile, we keep trying to do things every which way, even kissing these people's ass to make them comfortable being around us, when these people, they don't care about none of that stuff. They don't care how much money we have, because some of the Black celebrities out here, they're starting to see that. I'm not sure at what depth, but I mean, they're putting all of us on notice. They've been doing it, but it's like we refuse to see it. It's like we willfully refuse to see it.
Again, another fantastic point. It's like we refuse to see this thing in true scope. in true depth. We may, like you said, we may sit up and say, oh, that's wrong, or oh, this is bad and this needs to stop and we need justice. Justice? When have we as a collective group ever, when have we ever had true justice consistently as a collective group since these people have encountered us?
Never.
Say that again?
Never.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I mean, come on now. These are good white folk we talking about.
Yeah, that's how they portray themselves.
It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. And like you said, we keep looking for justice. We keep looking for answers. Let us see the footage. And what has that changed in the grand scheme of things? They added the body cams several years back, and black people had a sigh of relief, at least to a degree. Okay, there's body cams. That protects the police. It protects the public. That hasn't changed a damn thing.
Well, it's not protecting us.
It's not protecting us. And for whatever the reason, we don't seem to get that. And I don't think our people intimately understand how far gone this thing is. As a matter of fact, once people learn, they don't have to master it, but once people learn and understand what covert warfare really is, once they understand what covert warfare, not overt, covert warfare, when people understand what that really is and all of the tools that they have at their disposal, especially the utilization of psychologically based tactics, man. And you know what? I think that is a huge part. It has an awful, this lack of intimate comprehension of what covert warfare really is and the utilization of psychologically based tactics. And with those psychologically based tactics, you're talking about the deliberate demonization of the entire Black race.
Right, we've talked about this before. This is why they continually demonize us in the media, even though statistically speaking, the criminal element is not even us. We don't take the bulk of that, according to their own statistics. But yeah, that's what it is in the media. When we turn the news on, they're quick to show our face when we do commit a crime. And but when you do that at this level so long, I mean, what else is there to do to a destroyed people? I mean, it's not like
to a what?
To a destroyed people.
Hold on. Now, there's a lot of Black.
We're broken like crazy mentally.
We are broken. We are psycho-emotionally not just damaged, but as a people, as a collective group, we are psycho-emotionally destroyed or extremely close to it. For all intents and purposes, we are a broken and destroyed people. And you know, there's plenty of Black folks out there who I'm sorry, they have these pie in the sky concepts that I know. I don't even, God, it would be way too easy to make a solid case against their position. But you have a lot of Black folks that would challenge what you just said. They'll be all too quick to come with this pie in the sky bullshit. We're not a destroyed people. We're not out for the count. Look at our numbers. Our numbers are growing. Our numbers are rising. Are they? Are our numbers really rising? It has our numbers collectively as a racial group. It appears that our numbers are fine. It appears that way on the surface level. It appears everything is okay in terms of our overall collective populace. The numbers appear fine until you look closer. You see, for others, like I said before, this may be population control. But for the black race, it's not about population control at all. It is for now, it's a soft kill and sometimes hard kill, population, or should I say, extermination campaign. Again, for others, it's population control. It's not about population control for the black race. It is a soft kill, primarily, for now, extermination campaign that has not gone full blown and hot, not yet. And you seem to feel like that's precisely where all of this is going, correct?
That's exactly where it's going. I mean, the writing has been on the wall. A lot of us too blind, and it's not even naive. I don't even know the word to find to describe it.
I think you hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago when you said willful denial.
We do so much as a people to get these people's favor when we shouldn't be getting their favor at all. Like, we'll never be able to get their favor, but we don't understand that. It doesn't matter what we're doing, what job we have, what degree we have, but it's like we refuse to understand that.
Right. Again, an excellent point. And we have this thing to where there are some black people who are economically or financially sound. They may even be rock solid. They may be filthy rich. But black folks who have it like that, black folks who are making it like that, they are the equivalent of a few small drops in a fairly large body of water. I'm not going to say a few small drops in a large bucket. It's more like they are a few small drops in an extremely large lake, if not an ocean. And we have this thing as a people, we will look at the few black folks that we consider to be, quote, successful. And we will, it's like there's some sort of psycho-emotional fuckery that goes on within our own logic and reasoning. And we look at those few and we try to pretend that those few are the standard for the majority or the overall collective of our people, when that is simply not the fucking case, not even close. But this is how we are. This is where we are. This is who we are psycho-emotionally. And like you said, like you keep saying, somewhere deep inside, it's like we just don't fucking get it.
And some of us think the solution is group economics or educating our way out of something. You can't educate your way out of getting shot or getting murdered by these people. I mean, I don't see what that has nothing to do with it. But some of us will say that anyway.
Let me clean that up for you. It's the exact same thing, but allow me to reword it. In other words, you can't educate your way, or education isn't going to protect you from a people that hate you. Education isn't going to.
Okay. So let me go ahead and put something else up on the screen so we can go ahead and move a little bit more forward. Okay. What I'm trying to relate to you. So again, I wrote down a couple of notes which are like 1,000 to talk about after we watch this, just to reiterate on. I hear what they were saying, and I was inspired to kind of do something like this because there's just a couple of things I wanted to add, on to it. Okay. So yes, that was the little clip that I wanted to show. And then, when we go into this, then, okay, there are a couple of different directions that I'm taking this. I'm going to go through, I've stopped everything else I'm doing to go into this thing here to see how far it will take us. All the problems still go right back into the same original things that have been supplanted on the aboriginal or people of the earth. Okay. Darker view aboriginal people that have been removed from their status in society and placed at the bottom of their system that they have established, or the firmament that has been established upon the people. You cannot get away from the Bible. It gives you a better understanding when you are not indoctrinated by the whole religious aspect and by pastors. Okay, because what I'm trying to say is this has been already set up in order to do this to you. So if this is one of their main four mechanisms that they use in order to enslave mentally people, you cannot use the religion, okay, in the church, in the military, in the how they have it listed here, merchants or corporations, the commoners and the peasants. You will not be able to crack into those infrastructures if you do not expand your mind. Oh, the gods we have here at the top. And wake up. Okay? So at the end of the day, these tools can still be used in the right, correct mindset. And that is removing fear, anxiety, and all these things that have been taken and put on the people from the beginning from yourself. This is by going within and finding out that the answer remains in you. You just have not activated it yet. Okay? So when we're talking about okay, so he was saying something about the enemies or whatever, when these people are our enemies. Okay, so that's not a good term for me to use here on the channel because, again, I don't want any kind of strikes or anything. But when we're talking about the forces that we like to call them here, the boys in blue and the ones in boots, okay, we see them here on this pyramid as the warriors, okay? And then the kings are the ones that drive the warriors. In our state, it's a president. I mean, in our time here in this on this land, it's a president, okay? So when we're talking about them, they take an oath to protect and serve the firmament. This and these, okay? These work for these or this, okay? These are the people that have been that have been being killed off and removed from their original standing when it comes to some form of a society that was in place prior to these people bringing theirs. Okay, so your original peoples of the lands that were conquered or colonized by people. Okay, that is what you need to understand, is that they are not, I won't say enemies, but they are not there to protect and serve you. They are there to protect and serve this construct here. You get my drift? So we need to stop believing that. They are not there to protect. They are there to regulate for the people that have put the rules in place if they have to, but they're not there to protect and serve you. Okay? When he said that people are talking about, let me see the evidence, let me see the videos, I think a lot of people are using this as a way to wake people up and show that there's inconsistency and show that there's a problem, to be alarmed in a sense. But I know that I started doing a Kanika Jenkins video when it happened, which had to been at least more than 2 years ago. And there are still people that have dedicated their life to this one case. So again, when we go back into this whole thing of psychology and the way they use it to mind manipulate and mass manipulate, okay? These things target it's like a post-traumatic stress disorder in my eyes. And it triggers something when these things are consistently happening. But since that one happened on such a large scale, I question how the validity of the story. Sure, it possibly happened, but some of the extra stuff that they put in, did they use it to milk more energy from us? Who has something like a murder happen at their hotel and then take the footage from the hotel and keep it posted up on the website of the hotel so that people can come and view it, since they know people were so emotionally involved in it? And those same people, a lot of them, thousands of these people, are still locked on that case. They're still locked there. So they can't think about the other shit that's going on in the world. Same thing with the same thing with the indigenous Aborigine community. We've been sharing information back and forth for years. Most of our friends and family can't stand that they've blocked us from their feed. They can't stand what we're putting up. They don't like anything that you put up. You know what I'm saying? They don't ask any questions or anything. When all this stuff is proof and information, that is amazing. That is just mind-blowing to me. That is mind-blowing to me. But they're still ranting and raving on that fear factor about, oh, look what happened. Why this happening again? Oh, what we gonna do? Oh, shit. Look at this. Look at that. But nobody, you know what I'm saying? The solution starts with knowing who you are. If you don't know who the hell you are and where you came from, you can't know where the hell you're going. So this is a fact. So instead of doing that, again, they get us in that emotional state and keep us there. Okay? So when we're talking about, killing, okay, I have a little list here. I'm trying to keep track. Okay, so again, our enemies are not actual white people. Again, you don't have to connect with these people. You don't have to beat them up on the streets. You don't have to love them or like them. I'm not saying marry anybody that's white or anything. I'm not saying that you have to get their acceptance. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying, on a non-biased, non-emotional approach, is they are not your problem. They never have been. The KKK was a militia that was a service of the construct, okay? Your government. And when I say that, I'm telling you that there is no such thing as a God in the sky. There's a man in a position of power that is a puppet of an entity that is running this whole pyramid scheme right here on the people. These commoners, or these natives, and these indigenous people, and these white people, and these other sub races, some of them that sprung from the aboriginal or original people that have been put, they ain't even on the pyramid. You've been put on the ground. You're underneath. And you are of the earth, or the earth. But again, there is something in between you. And that is where the so-called white people reside, and all your Latinos and stuff. And that, okay, so they are there just to be the border in between you still obtaining anything. That is your Arabics that come here and set up shop in the neighborhood with liquor stores. And this is not against anybody. Again, I have family and friends, period. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be that way. But I'm still going to speak the truth. You see, I'm not going to let my personal influences affect what I'm going to say to people that need to be alerted of these things. It is going on. I'm going to bring it up. Okay, so then we talk about the Chinese. We let them in our neighborhoods. This is the only communities that set up like this now. No other white communities are not, so-called white communities are not set up like that. It's just ours, right? You have the Chinese people come set up their hair shops, okay? Which the hair industry is like a $1 trillion industry alone. You know what I'm saying? Okay, when we have beautiful natural hair, that it's okay. And I'm not downing anybody, because I'm a still rock what I'm a rock. It doesn't even matter about your spiritual awakening when it comes to these particular things like hair and makeup. I'm just saying that if we want to pull back our funds and stop funding those who are taking advantage of us, this is on an economic or a certain platform that I'm talking about. Okay, then you have other people that come in with gas stations that we'll just use Indian, just like they kind of generally reference us to certain things. This is what I'm saying, okay? And laundromats and stuff like that. And then but the point is, there's none of you having any type of businesses there, because these people have been there to take the role of that so that you can remain here, okay? So the way you don't get mad at this person or a white person, if we directing our energy towards so-called white people that have no power to do anything against you in this world today, because if we change our perception of things, we'll be able to do whatever the hell we want to do, and your regular neighbor is not going to be able to do shit to you. Okay? It is the construct that we need to be speaking to. And they keep us frivolously fighting over things like race in 2020 almost. Okay? To keep your eyes off of them. So you're not even really thinking. You see what I'm saying? They've done so much work, and we're about to get there. We're going to go into the brain, how it works, how trauma works. We're going to go into the fact that we're reading about this in Genesis. We're going to go into all of that. Okay? Okay? So again, who does a case like the Kanika Jenkins case was done? So some of me wants, I've seen weird stuff on that footage or whatever, but again, is that what they want us to do so we can keep spending more time staying on that subject? You know what I'm saying? Okay. And this probably didn't even happen the way it does, but they need the energy. They need us worried. They need us in fear. They need to keep us in a lower vibrating state of mind. Okay. Okay. So again, this whole race war thing is not from the people. Shit, it's from the people at the top that own everything that you put into your body, everything that they shovel in your mind with this entertainment industry and with your televisions. Those are the things, but you still support those things, and then you get mad at something else. And I'm not saying this to say, don't get mad at white people. They so nice and I love them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything against anybody, because if I hold that in my heart, I will not be able to advance. Okay. But at my point, and I know that they are not the ones that did it. When you start pointing your finger at the correct villain, then you will get an effect. So it's not nothing that we are speaking out. We're trying to do these things, but you are still talking to the wrong people. That's just the bottom line. And they know that. They know emotions is going to take over and you're going to outlash at the next person. Okay? So it's the banks that won't give you a loan. It's the schools that don't pay for more funding for our children to go to schools. All of this shit is underneath this construct. Academics, priests, it's your ministers in the church that you give 10% to, but they don't give back to the community. They'll let the community rot around them and keep their church on the corner of that damn neighborhood and don't give nothing back. So not only that, they don't give nothing back. And not only that, if you do have a so-called black business that come into the neighborhood most times, I'm not saying all, it's some fried chicken place or something like that's all the fuck we eat. So what I'm saying is we have to take responsibility, and then we have to serve out the wrath to somebody that can actually that is actually in charge of the problems that have been caused systematically, legally. Okay? This is what we have to do. Okay? Now, he said something about the steps to something. And I can't, talking about stuff like this is, the steps. And that we kiss and ass to these people or whatever. And then it, I think it was something about, well, I can't really tell what I was going to say about this. Okay. And then celebrities are not your friend, because I think he said something about the celebrities are trying to make noise about it, but they're not. They're only able to give you enough to have you cling on to them so that you can be a follower of them. Or it's more like they are the new idols and worship them. They are not there to help you. They could have been come to help us. They're not. The thing you have to understand is it's deeply rooted into the Bible. It's deeply rooted into the beginning of, in the biblical aspect, in the beginning of time here. What we are not understanding, because we want to connect ourselves to Africa so much, is that the fact that there was darker view, so-called black people with kinky hair and all types of textures of hair already on this landmass prior to 1492 has been hidden from us for a reason. And that is, again, to make you feel some type of way. And once you do all these things to these people to make them feel some type of way, and they still make museums and put us in chains and statues and stuff and still put out these slavery movies and all this shit like this, they want to keep you in a perpetual state of fear and some type of mind control. That is what it is. None of this shit is for your entertainment only. The people that run the television stations, and I think it's only 5 different companies, let that sink in. They are the ones, along with your mainstream media and your newspapers, if they don't like you and they want to keep you in a stagnant motion, whatever they do is going to go against what is natural and of nature to you. It is going to look like it is complying with these people because they need to give you a perception to direct your energy there. But then you have these people here that are still benefiting off of your labor, and they are still obtaining riches, and they have been from the beginning of time here in this land. They have controlled your school systems and what you learn and what you perpetually our children pick up and learn to worship their people in these things like this. It's the same thing with your biblical aspect. These people that we're talking about in the Bible are more than likely just regular everyday people with different under the guise of different names, okay? And you're basically probably just worshiping regular everyday men that came. I'm telling you, we about to get up into. I'm already got up into it, but we're gonna get up into some stuff on here. Okay. So they are not your friends. Just like you don't remember that there were darker view people that came over here with these Europeans, that some were maybe Europeans, Spaniards were dark. The whole place was filled with dark people, and once they confiscated and went through one land, they picked up people from there to take them to other lands so they can do the same thing. So again, some of these 250,000, what if some of the 250,000 Africans in total that they brought over here during the entire slave trade, not millions, only that much, what if those people, because they're European, they're still, like I call it, Euro-Afro-Asians, okay? They're still from that continent, okay? What if those people are now your people, your professors, bloodlines, your professors, and you think, oh, this black college, this thing. What if they are some form of connected to these Freemasons and these secret societies? And what if these people don't like you? Just like Africans over there, a lot of them don't like us. But we still want to be connected to a place that none of them have come here to look for you, but we're still trying to get these tests to go over there and look for them. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody is doing DNA tests for them to bring them over here to us, but we're trying to get DNA tests so we can be connected to that damn land. Do you get my sayings? I just don't understand. I don't understand. So what I'm saying is, what if the celebrities or celebrities in your renowned so-called high-paying, high-sedity, so-called educated, but education does not equal, just like riches don't equal success. Education does not equal someone being intelligent, okay, or actually using their mind. More than likely, most of our, especially, except for if you're talking about the medical industry or something like this, most of the stuff that we know is the stuff that they wanted us to know that has been watered down and regurgitated for generations. And so now it is what it is. And you can't even get people to look away from that to use their own minds in order to come up out of it. And so this is our problem, okay? So again, how much is, oh yeah, and that's what I said. How much is real? How many of these incidents that they're showing us purposely, putting the camera there for us to see, just to get us riled up and get us all upset for us to not do nothing? Because that's what we do. We get upset, we talk about it a couple times, and then we just let it go like nothing ever happened. Okay, so the thing is, rather it is happening, and people call them, staged events, false flags, psyops, and all these things. And some people think that they're real. No matter what you want to put it under, the most powerful thing, because none of us was there, was the perception. So if they can give you the perception that this is going on and some of these events are staged, it is doing something to the energy, the mind, and the soul, the spiritual aspect of the so-called people of the earth, the aboriginal people mainly, because this is what they do. No matter if we know that white people are so-called getting gunned down too, as long as they give you the perception that is only, if the news and the media and all these people give you the perception that black people are the only ones that have to worry about this, no one else will be alarmed. Okay? Not to say that this is happening to them at the same scale. Forget that. You're going into your emotions with that shit. Come up out of your emotions. I'm just giving you the information. So whether or not these are real or staged events, it is to get the stronger thing that comes from these incidents is the perception that this is only going on with these people. But the only other thing that does come on the other side of that spectrum is that now people really believe that, and they'll do anything to keep in that mindset and not fear or worry, because they were not programmed to do so. You've been programmed to do this for the whole time. You at the bottom. They have been somewhat programmed. You know what I'm saying? In a sense. We don't talk about white slavery. We don't talk about Irish slavery. We don't talk about white people coming over here starving to death, and how the aboriginal or indigenous tribes help them by actually feeding them. Okay, and these kind of things like this, they don't talk about that because they never want to be, regardless of how you feel about it, they don't ever want it to be a chance where these people and these people come together against these people. Okay, so I'm not saying we need them to restrain ourselves and redirect ourselves. We need to gather amongst ourselves and speak upon the fact of, first, you ain't from no damn Africa. Second, you need to come up out of them damn churches. Third, you need to quit spending your money with these damn people that have you mad at everybody else, but they are the ones that promote these things, and they know what does it do? What does it do? Like the serotonin that they talk about, or these things that if you have a lot of stress and you have these things in your life, what do you do to relieve yourself? Well, I want to buy something. I want to get something. You know what I'm saying? So the merchants have a play in this too, because we don't understand that it is deeper than that. That all those things here that we're showing you on the screen work together to keep you in a low vibrate state of mind. Okay? And you still fuel and feed these. Back in the blue, supporting our troops. 10% in the church, paying all your damn money and going into debt to go to school. Merchants. Just like he was saying, we think that we can educate ourselves out of this. There's no way. The way you can educate yourself is by forgetting everything that they fucking said and redoing the things yourself, okay? And looking into things on your own, because the answers already reside, okay? There's just a blockage there, and we're going to get into it. This is not just me saying this. These are facts and statistics, okay, from people that worked in neurology, okay? So let's go ahead and go into that. The landowners, or the people that make the laws of the land or whatever. Again, these are the people, okay? And the commoners, some of these people under the guise of Native American that are supposed to be the representation of the people that were here prior to 1492, but that's a lie. Okay, and then you have other servants, those people that came here in droves that actually did come here in the numbers of the millions in the 1800s. Those people were servants, and they were undesirable people that they sent here as well to mix with the people here in this land. Okay, the poor whites, or the poor other everyday people, these are the Sudra. Okay, the outcast, because you've been cast out of your position, that's you. Okay, so again, refuse to look at, okay, wait, okay, oh yeah, so we refuse also to look at the biblical part that's played in this whole thing. This is what we mainly talk about on the channel. You need to go ahead and get your mind right, get you an etymology dictionary, or pull it up online. And you need to go ahead and look back into some of these scriptures here that say that he wanted somebody to preside over the day. And preside just means, it can be equivalent to president. Okay, just so you know that. Okay, over the day and the night. What's day? Light. What's night? Dark. To divide the light from the dark. Okay, so how did they, let's just take a step further into nowadays. Let's go back into the 1800s even. Okay, and let's talk about how they overthrew the last so-called black Republicans in the South. Then let's take this a little bit further and look at now. We want to say, where did this come from, this hate on us? It come from your scriptures. It came right here in your Bible. He saw it was good when he wanted to divide the light from darkness. And when you realize that waters also means foreigners and earth means the earliest inhabitants, you'll have to redirect the way that you read in Genesis chapter 1. All you got to do is really read chapter 1 and 2. And it's not like it's this, biblical, magical book that God is, whatever. No, look at it as a study book, a study guide, anything else that you look into. Okay? Anything else, other book that you read, you need to dig through and study through this book. You don't have to, but I'm just saying to get the better understanding. Or you could just watch my channels or somebody that talk about it like me. But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Once you figure out that this is the heaven and this is the earth, okay, this little pyramid has become my best friend. I've done another thorough thing on this, including the other pyramid from the dollar bill as well. Okay, so it says, and the earth was form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. What is that darkness? Could that have mean darkness was the people were dark? Okay, because now we're going to talk about lighting it up, right? So could we be talking about the people, these people that have been put at the bottom? Okay, so darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved on the face of the water. Now, we can look at the term spirit, but I'm not going to do that here because I want this to be a quicker video. This is something you can do on your own. Of God was on the face of the waters. What was Columbus and everybody, the voyagers that came over here, so-called first, coming to see? Were they coming to the shores? See, religion has adjusted your mindset when you're reading and thinking that you're interpreting this book, and you have not. You have not used etymology. You have not looked at other forms of reading this text. Most of us have been guilty of just going to church on Sunday and thinking that's the way it ought to be. You pick up your Bible and you take it there and you put it down when you get home, and you don't. And a lot of you read the Bible diligently, but you're not getting an understanding because you like to stay on the surface. You don't wonder why God want to kill people and then say God is good all the time. See, these kind of things, you have to get out of that. Okay? And God said, let there be light, and there was light, and he saw it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. You see what I'm saying? So even if we're talking about the terms of the Native Americans and the aboriginal people, we are sitting in ghettos and they are sitting on reservations. But again, the reservations that they live on, the Native Americans, they have had a certain amount of power and been left alone to build, but they don't build. Some of them do, but most of the ones that didn't get money from casinos because they went in with the government to try to keep you out of your standing, okay, by begging them to make them take a DNA test for darker people or anybody to get into the tribes now, because your DNA will not match theirs because they are not the original people that's connected to this land. A lot of them. Okay, so let's keep going. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Again, when we're talking about dividing the waters from the waters, the poor everyday white folk, and then these. So what is he going to say next? The waters that was below and the waters that was above. So let's just cut that short right there. We're not even going to go back in there right now. We're not going to go back into it because there's more stuff that I want. But people refuse to look at God for what he is. God did more killing in the Bible than Satan did. He killed babies and children, the whole neighborhoods of people, and slaughtered them, and so that other people can come in and take the land from them and reside in that land because he wanted them to. Ain't that the same thing that they now, since you know that there was a group, this land was filled with dark, copper colored and brown skinned people? Do you see what I'm saying? Ain't that what God did? Do you see what I'm saying? Didn't you not get the Bible only until the 1800s, the late 1800s, the early 1900s, after they had rewritten history? Come on up out of this. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go ahead. I can't even read my own. Oh, he said, when did we ever have justice? And I said, probably before we ever encountered these beings. Okay. So I wanted to reiterate that not because I feel bad for what can happen to white people, so-called white people, okay? But what I'm saying is they are not your enemies. And if you continue to direct your energy and your remarks toward everyday white people, you will not get anywhere because they have no power. And matter of fact, nowadays, they don't even know, because they so busy looking at you, they don't even know that they've been put in modern day slavery by the government when they get issued a damn birth certificate for their children. They don't know that after the police make them think it's okay for a slaughter to go on with the American Indian or the /Negro, that they're going to be coming for your ass too. So at the same time, everybody going to get theirs when it do hit. If we do let this happen and it hit the fan, everybody going to get it. It ain't going to just be you. Okay? And it'll be too late to take down your sign that says that you back the blue. Okay? So let's see. What else do we want to talk about? So again, I'm saying this because in order to see a change, we need to direct the energy in the correct direction. If you keep on like we've been doing for so long, letting the media play so-called the fear tactics, that's what they did on so-called white people in the 1800s a lot, and rile them up. So some of these groups did get together and kill some people. Okay, so I'm not going to say they haven't done anything wrong, but I'm just saying that you have to be careful what you allow to change, show you a perception or some side of the story. Just because the news is saying it don't mean a damn thing. If the whole news is owned by the people that want to keep you in a certain state of mind. I mean, it just goes all the way back. There's no getting around it, okay? So you have to direct your energy towards your government, because secretly there is no such thing as this God in the sky. They are the damn God in the sky. Because the heavens don't mean nothing but the house of God. And that could be your White House in the District of Columbia, in Washington, D.C., right here in this land, that or the United States Incorporated. Okay? So, no more, and that's the thing, we got to stop this blame game. At this point right here, we are in a dire situation in our neighborhoods, some of our neighborhoods or some of the hoods, but it ain't nothing compared to some of these people that live over here in the Philippines that live on a hill of garbage. Okay? They scoped out garbage to make them a house. There's something that we can do when we take back our power and our energy that we are giving to this entity. When you're looking for this Christ or Christos outside of yourself, when it's always been in here. So you need to go back into your temple and come the hell up out of this temple. I know it don't sound right to you, but they can't exist without you giving them the power from the bottom. You, no matter what, it still has to rest on something. Do you get what I'm saying? So they have you at the bottom and they're sucking you dry financially, mentally, spiritually, but you are the base still. So what happens when the base is removed from a construct such as this? It will fall. It will fall. Okay? So, again, the body cams that he was talking about, that's just to mess with you and your frequency. They know how we feel about each other. So this is why they give you extended footage. This is why they do these things like this for you to be trying to be an Inspector Gadget and all this, to go through these footage and everything. They know we watching. They know we waking up. Nobody else want to have faith that, not even our own people don't want to have faith that that's going on. They don't support us truth seekers on any measure, okay? So we just sound crazy to them. So they can turn it, so you can turn against yourself. And the real Christs or messengers that's going to be coming is going to be within the people. It's going to be within the people. The temple is in you, and ye are gods. I'm not saying that's who we talking about, but keep that in mind when you thinking about this. Who are we talking about? What are we talking about? Was Jesus really directing you back to your own temple the whole time? But the religious aspect has found a crafty way to still get you to look for a savior that don't even look like you, outside of you, to come back. And I'll be damned if that be me still. Okay? So, like I said, the body cams and stuff like that is just to, it's not to do anything, because nobody still goes to jail. Nobody still gets in trouble. We can all clearly see, including everyday white people that argue back and forth with you too, knowing good and damn well that that was wrong. And if it was one of theirs, they would be upset. But no. See, they have been programmed to see it some kind of way, just like you have been programmed to see it. But the person that's always being most affected is those who are down here. And they've been able to use people that look like you or the people down here in order that are really supposed to be up here, in order to mold you and push you and lead you. Leaders, you better be careful when it comes to these black leaders. Okay? So again, we don't enter and overstand any of this, and this is why we are still sitting here crying about these things to this day. So the covert warfare. And I was saying the tools that they use, yes, is the media, but it's also in the newspapers, in your school system, in the churches, and everything like this. But it's also your celebrities as well, okay? And yes, this is happening to us in a more constricted or constructed way. a more systematic way, a never ending direct way. But when we complain about it and don't do nothing about it ourselves, it gives other, and we don't unite ourselves, it gives other people the room and the audacity to say, well, what if this? And we really shouldn't give a damn what they say. We need to just work on our own self at this point in time now. Okay? But you'll have people turn their backs and not even talk to you anymore, and your family and your friends, because you have a different outlook. And that's going to be that way. It's said to be that way. So the Bible does tell us a lot, but you have to be looking at it in the proper perception. And I believe that religion was put here in order to give you the book, but change your perception. Okay? So let's see. The news is a tool to give us a perception. Okay, so yeah, it's a tool to give us a perception of things. So regardless if black people are murdering it, they'll take every initial time, every time that they can to show you when you do a crime. But when everyday white people, but this is not their fault. You see what I'm saying? It's really not their fault. They don't own it. They don't own nothing either. They don't even own the houses and the cars that they have most of the time, just like you. So again, they have no power. They have no power. They're just the news channels and stuff is just there to keep the thing fueled. Okay. To be for us to be pointing the fingers at all of our own selves. Okay. So yes, they have destroyed our people, and we are a destroyed people, but we don't have to remain that way. But in order to get out of it, don't you see, we have been leaning on God for a long time. He ain't showed up yet. You've been learning the hell out of shit. It ain't nothing happened. You got so-called black people in the police field and in the army, and you still feel in danger. You got black people in the church, and they still take your fucking money and trick you out of things. You don't have that many black teachers and academics in elementary school, but more probably in like a college level. But again, they're just feeding you what they know is best, what has been fed to them, and it's just a recycling of regurgitated, what do you call it? Structured, okay, mainstream information that the people up here have created to keep you to get to a certain level as slaves, to work in their rat race in their work field. Okay, when you get older, they're just grooming our children for that. This is why school is set up like a jail. Bells ringing, go outside in the yard, eat the nasty food, go get locked up in a room and sit in a seat. You see what I'm saying? So it's same thing. Don't talk until you spoken to, stand in a straight line, all this. You know what I'm saying? What's different? And we wonder what's wrong with our children and not wanting to go to these places today. You have to, it's at some point you have to wake up. When it comes to the merchants, you'll break your neck to go down there and get some Jordans, but you won't break your neck to do any damn thing else. Again, you'll break your neck to shop with these people, but we set something, nobody has the power to set anything up. And even if you do, we fear that our people won't even show up. Because again, not only has all these people been programmed against you, they done did it to program us against ourselves. But the people that look like you, that pretend to be you, that may come from bloodlines that are overseas, you give your money to them and go to their concerts, and you love them and you worship them and you want to look like them and wear your makeup like them and do your hair like them. And they're all there to play the game. The world is a stage. This is the stage. They're all there to play a part of the game. And they're probably doing more detrimental damage to our people than these people actually would have the power to do. Because they were hired because they look like you to do certain things to get you see what I'm saying? So it's nothing. Or it's everything. Okay? So, that pie in the sky whole thing, yes, that's true. We'd rather do that than actually unite and do something. Okay? So, not babies. Okay. Oh yeah, and we're not rising and we're not growing. They like to have us put these little things out here, these statistics, and we get them in our head because we want something tangible to feel good about ourselves in a sense and feel like we actually are doing good. But at the same time, nobody's killing their babies more than the so-called black woman in America or anywhere. Nobody is being incarcerated more than Americans in general, but mainly black males. Okay. Not only are they killing you wholesale, okay, and everybody's okay with it because everybody's seeing the footage and nobody cares. And you care, but you can't do anything. You feel that you can't do anything about it. So you keep going on into this system or this construct that's not doing anything for you as well. And then we're killing ourselves. Rather, young people are committing suicide. We're killing ourselves as being sovereign citizens by saying that we're citizens of the United States, which is a corporation. Spiritually, by attending these churches that have not been doing anything and are not beneficial to our people whatsoever. Culturally, mentally, not religious, because that's not a thing. Okay, so and financially and to a certain extent, but again, when it comes to finances, so uh yes, when he said something about population control, it might be that for other people, but for us it's genocide. And it's been a long worldwide genocide of the copper colored people, of the brown black people, the so-called these colored people. Okay, under the guise of caste systems and slavery and all these other things. Okay, because they know exactly what to do to fix the situation, but they never will. So again, excuse me, they have us more so these days going against each other instead of looking at the government. Then probably more in the 60s they were directing their energy because they had a leader to take it there. You know what I'm saying? But again, we had leaders to take it that were seemed like they were fighting on our cause, like King or whatever, to take it to the White House. But then he ended up getting assassinated. So again, how about we don't need a middleman? Just like you don't need a middleman to get to your higher self or what we could consider your Christos or your God. You don't need a higher self to, and thinking that that's outside of you is the insane part of this. Okay, same way you don't need anybody to get your point across. Maybe we figure out some kind of campaign to send some letters out from all of us and send them at a certain time to them to let them know something. Maybe we do something on this call. You don't even have to leave your home for this. You know what I'm saying? So again, yes, it is an extermination on us, but it's not because of the color of your skin. It is because who you are and what is yours, what is due to you once you go back into your proper nationality, okay? And your proper stance, okay? So they can talk ADOS all they want, but if you still thinking you from Africa, you ain't gonna get shit. This is why you ain't got nothing up until this time, because you need to be under the correct standing, okay? So yeah, fame is not success. Education does not make you, being educated does not make you intelligent, okay? It just doesn't work that way. If you're high in education, that just means you've been further indoctrinated. This is maybe why a lot of people cannot resonate with what's going on right now, because they feel superior in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not it doesn't necessarily. And I'm not saying that people that are educated are dumb, but I'm just saying if you are if we know if in our opinion, a lot of us that are waking up, we see that this has been a big problem for us. This construct with all these things included. Okay, if I sit here and act like this is not going on, that would be horrible. Okay, this would be horrible to not speak up against these things. These things has been conditioning us to be horrible people and live in a horrible state from the beginning of time. So if I choose to speak against them, they are. And if it was put there in order to mold you and control you and have power over you, then it's still doing that. This is why we're still in the situation where we are in, and we cannot move or get out of it, because you continue to service these particular entities. Okay? So, yes, and again, these people that are in these boots and these people that are in these forces and in these boys in blue, they are not there to service you. And they don't even have the power that they've given you the perception that they do over you. So, and yes, the whole thing about putting somebody like Oprah and saying, look what they've done. Again, Oprah ain't even indigenous, more than likely, to the Americas. She's probably tied to the other land where she supports and spend her money with all the schools, when she could just go ahead and do something like tear down a block in Chicago and build a youth center or a rec center and some kind of programs that children can go through high school. So when they get out of high school, they could be ready to, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell nobody what to do with that. But how are you successful if you're going to sit there and have all of this and watch your people perish? That's because they're not us. You've been given the perception that they are us. And they are another group of people that have been bred into the American Indian Negro so-called black. Okay, and the result is a straight back or upright or civilized version of what they wanted from you, but they couldn't get from you. And that's why you still in the hood. But they were able to put these two together and get one of these straight back characters that you could see their story and what they've been through and their documentaries and things like this still to this day. And it still hasn't done anything to get us to rise up or do anything further for ourselves. Because again, these are not, more than likely, they were not your people. Because if they were going to do something for you, they would never get a platform and keep it. Do you see what I'm saying? They will never get a platform and keep it if it will possibly change the minds of the American Negro. It will not happen. They will not do it. So you can take that, whatever leaders you think you see out there, or whatever you think you know, it'll be amazing to me to see when the day that they do. And if that's the case, because there's some kind of shift in power or something that has occurred or happened. It's not going to be because a man came out the clouds. Okay. So you better be looking for him somewhere on this earth through your brothers and sisters that's speaking some real shit these days. Okay. So again, that was my take on the whole thing. I don't think I wrote anything else, and I know this video is long enough, so I'm going to let you guys go. And again, go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you're feeling what I'm talking about. At the same time, I thought I had some more stuff. Oh, matter of fact, okay, I take that back. Because we're going to go further in the other part in another video about the brain and about, what we're talking about in Genesis when we're possibly talking about the brain and the mind control. Okay. So again, I was looking at this pyramid because now I'm into looking at these type of things that they've been telling us is the way we need to do things, but are we doing things in reverse? So again, you got your meat and stuff up here, your white bread, white, all this other stuff, and your dairy. Now, I am going on the bandwagon with this whole dairy thing that I don't think that we were ever supposed to be consuming this milk and stuff like this. Your babies are babies. They're children. They are not baby cows. This is why so many people have what they would say IBS or some kind of stomach issues when they take too much of this stuff in. But it's kind of like a drug and it's very addictive. That these people have done this research on these things like sugar and milk and cheese and stuff like this. So it's very hard to keep it out of your diet. And then let's see, with fish and chicken or something, I can possibly agree on this. But again, these things should come before this. But whatever. Okay. And then you have your vegetables and your fruits or whatever. But again, these are laced with all kind of beautiful or disgusting gifts, I'll say, from Monsanto and from China, where they are actually getting a lot of our food from. That is, they know how to construct fake food, as we might call it. And then also the things that are being sprayed on the foods and stuff that end up getting into the bloodstream that, things like this as well. Okay, so it's not even natural anymore. I don't know if some of you can tell, but I'm someone that likes to cook. I always cook, and I can tell the difference between these things here. And then whole wheats and plant canola oil. At one point you're supposed to use vegetable oil. It's better than lard, and then they say don't use that. Use olive oil. Then they say not olive oil, not this oil, coconut oil. So you never know what to do when it comes to those type of things. But anyways, yeah, daily exercise and weight control is down here at the bottom. But again, we all know that going to the gym is not really any type of real way of getting any kind of real fit endurance and getting any kind of a workout or exercise for your mind and everything. We're supposed to be more acclimate with nature in order to obtain this, and we're supposed to be planting and searching and doing things for our own food, not going to the grocery store and picking it up. So again, in this way, I guess this is the best way you can do it, by putting weights and shoes right here. But anyway, you should not need any of those things in order to get yourself in some type of good shape. Okay. The things that we do on a daily basis were supposed to be the things that will keep us in this healthy state, but let's go ahead and end this video. And again, we're going to go more into what I think we've missed in Genesis when it comes to this mind control that has happened to the people. And, you know, stay tuned for that, okay? Because that will probably be my next one. So until then, you guys take care.